Peace and blessings to anyone watching this video. My name is Malik. Today, I'm here to give you the keys to addressing your triggers. Now, this is all a part of a series of videos that I want to do on shadow work, and these are things to all help heal your mental health, heal your mind. Once you have a stronger mind, it's going to be easier to manifest things in your life. You can think of your mind like your magic wand. Right? Like, so if you ever seen like a wizard show or Harry Potter or anything like that, or Doctor Strange, think of your magic wand as your mind. And when when your mind isn't strong, then it's harder to make things happen. So right now, I just want to give some keys on addressing your triggers. And this won't be the only video I do on this. This is obviously the first one. But I'm going to be trying to break these things down in many different ways so they're as easy to understand as possible. Books, videos, cartoons, whatever it might be. I just want this information to be easily grasped. And so, first, what are your triggers? Think of it like a gun. Like, your triggers are just anything that's going to set you off. It could be externally. It could be something verbally. It could be, externally, verbally.
Think about it. Take a second.
So first, what are your triggers? Your triggers are anything that can set you off. Think of it like a gun. It could be something PTSD related. Most of us have PTSD. It's not just people in the army. I know that isn't like common knowledge. It could be something as simple as someone, like, when people are laughing and you're not sure if they're like laughing at you, or you might have that feeling in your mind that they're laughing at you. Like, that could be a trigger. I'm gonna go over a couple of my triggers really quickly that I noticed. One of my triggers is being questioned a lot. I'm still getting to the source of the problem, but it's being questioned a lot. Like, when someone is asking me a whole bunch of questions, I don't know what it is fully, but something about that starts making me get tense, and then I start to kind of like shut down, or I start to get angry, like almost like, why the F are they asking me that? Like, why do they need to know that? Why they ask me that? It's like, I don't know where that comes from, but and I'm going to talk about it in a second. One of the things to dealing with your triggers is to ask that question, where does it come from? Because I know partially is, have you ever seen Everybody Hates Chris? And if you haven't, every episode he gets mugged, but he does it in a joking way. It's like, little dude, let me hold $1.
Hey, little dude from across the street, let me hold $1.
Hey man, can I talk to you for a minute?
But he's doing it in a joking way. So since about like 4th grade, I've been dealing with being mugged, whether it be a gunpoint, knife point, a group of people. Since about 4th grade, I've been dealing with that on the regular. And because of that, that's partially where I don't like the questions. It's not the only reason. I know there's some other stuff that I'm still trying to get to the bottom of, but that's partially why I don't like questions. Because when I start to hear a bunch of questions like, oh, that's a nice shirt, where'd you get it from? Or this or that, to somebody that could just be making conversation. But to me, it's like I'm getting in defense mode, like, oh shit, here we go again. Or, oh damn, man, it's like, what are they about to do? What is he trying to do? What is she trying to do? Is she trying to set me up? Are they trying to like do something to me? Those are the first things that come to mind because of my PTSD from the past. And that is something that I'm working on. I'm working on that, in the moment. It's part of my shadow work. It's part of strengthening my mental health. Another trigger is just loudness. My mom is kind of like deaf in one ear. My brothers are loud. The whole family's loud. I'm kind of like the only quiet one. And so, like, it's not necessarily from being in the house. I think it's just from, like, it never really, it's like always, I think it's from knowing that loudness is coming with, like, a bang. Like, whether it be when you're in school and you can hear the group of people getting rowdy and it's about to be like a fight in the cafeteria or something, or in the house, an argument could lead to like something physical and something domestic. It's like just that like overly loudness where I can't really hear, I can't really think. That's another trigger for me. And again, I found that out, or I've addressed that, by being in, like, checking my energy, being in spaces where it's like it might be too loud or people are getting too loud, and it's like, why is this making me uncomfortable? Like, what does that stem from? Why am I uncomfortable right now in this situation? Like, why do I want to take flight? All they're doing is, talking loud, or all they're doing is having a passionate conversation. But for some reason right now, I want to run out of this room. And that is, that's one of them. Another one, and this is something that's like even simpler, or something. I'm not even gonna say simple because I don't want to make it seem like triggers are simple. I'm trying to say it's like something that you could be overlooking, because we might only be thinking of these things that plague our lives and our anchors that hold us back as like something serious, like domestic violence or abuse, or like something like that, something super serious. So if we don't have something like that, you might not be even taking this as seriously. And another one is just kind of relates to being questioned, but kind of like someone joking, overly joking. It's like I'm trying to be serious. It's like I'm trying to get a point across, and someone's overly joking, not really taking me serious, purposely throwing my point out the window, purposely not trying to hear me, just kind of like making it more difficult for me to talk or whatever it might be. And that kind of comes, and I realize that going within myself, that kind of comes from like me having a fear of being unintelligent or sounding stupid, or not being intelligent from being told like, oh, you're stupid so much, or like, always kind of going to a school that's like the worst school. So it's like, if you're in that school, you're kind of looked at just statistically and society wise, like, your brains are less than, or, not really being like the best reader out loud, or knowing the big fancy words like other people do. And so when I'm trying to have a debate or have a discussion and people aren't taking me seriously, it's like that comes up. It's like in my mind, I realized it's like a voice that's like, oh, they're calling me stupid, or they think I'm dumb, or they think I'm retarded, they don't think I know how to do this. Or even when someone is trying to help me, like someone may be trying to help me with something, and because I have this thing where I'm like, are they trying to call me stupid, or are they thinking I'm dumb, or are they thinking I can't do it? It's like sometimes I don't want to hear it, or I don't want to take the help, and I'm like, what do they mean by that? And it could be someone just extended the arm trying to help up. And I realize that's one of my triggers as well. So now what I would say, the keys, like that those are some of my triggers. I know I have other ones. I know I'm still getting to the bottom of them. Rome wasn't built in a day. It didn't take one day for us to, these things to affect us, kind of have anchors in our life. It's not going to be fixed in one day. But once you start to be aware of it, those are the things that's going to help you. It's going to change. It's going to make you change who you're around, change who you date, change who you talk to, change how you enter situations. Because now that you know this, you're going to do what you can to either unload the gun so it's no longer a problem for you, or to not go in rooms that make the gun go off. So things that I would suggest and things that I do personally is to journal / check your energy. So if you go out in the world today, right, and for some reason, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you were happy-go-lucky, and then Thursday comes, and for some reason you're like, whatever happened that day, when you get home, you're not happy-go-lucky. You should write down what happened on Thursday, and try to get as detailed as possible, and write down your day-to-day. And those days where you have bad days, try to get super detailed, and what time, what conversation, what thing did you get on the bus and hear a certain sound? Did you see two people interacting? Did you see something online? Because there's a lot of videos and things online. Online is a dangerous place for your triggers, because there's no censorship. You could be seeing someone get their head chopped off, and then right after that you're seeing a heartwarming dog video. So there's no real censorship online. So that could be it. Whatever it might be, start to take note of that, and then after that, start to ask yourself questions. Okay, so if this video, let's say it's a video, right? And it's a video of a mom yelling at her son. If this video is upsetting me for any which reason, why is it upsetting me? If you keep asking that why, but to yourself, don't ask anyone else. Just keep it internally. Like you're just talking to yourself all day. Why is that upsetting me? Why is that upsetting me? Why is this video of the mom yelling at the son upsetting me? For me, asking that question like, why is it that when people are asking me a bunch of questions, it's upsetting me? Why is it? They're just asking me questions. It's like sometimes they're simple questions. And then it's like one day the light bulb went off. Like, oh, that's what it is. Every time I'm used to being questioned, it's like a robbery coming. That's so simple. It's like, oh, if you knew somebody was going to ask you a couple questions and then try to rob you or try to do harm to you, you probably wouldn't want to be questioned. And that's the same thing that could be going on. It could be like, oh, okay, so this video of the mom and the son is setting me off because I used to get yelled at a lot. And he's getting yelled at for what you may view as like, a minor reason. It's like, you forgot to take the meat out the fridge. But he's getting like screamed on, which many of us have for those type of reasons. And you could be saying like, wow, like, so that is the problem. Like, I was also this kid or I just also got screamed on for these same situations, like the meat in the freezer or leaving the toilet seat up or something. It's like I'm getting screamed at and something. So that could be your trigger. And once you start to address that, you can start to, like I said, either you unload the gun and you fully unpack it, or just being aware of it, you could be like, all right, I'm going to avoid this situation. I'm going to avoid videos like that. Nobody send me anything like that. Don't share it. If you see a caption or something like that, you might not click on it again. And that's just one example, but I use that so you can kind of get a good understanding. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of end it there, make this kind of quick. I'm going to post more follow-up on this. I'll post songs. I'll post anything that I can find on this subject to help get the message across. But yeah, journal, analyze, check your energy, see how you feel after you finish going around certain people. What was the conversations like? Certain shows that you may be watching, stuff like that. Understand that you may be suffering from PTSD. Don't have to be an Army vet. Yeah, and that's basically it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any feedback, anything you might personally want me to touch on, or anything like that. Yeah, peace.